Okay, so as I left off in the last video about hitting someone in the mouth for calling somebody a fucking nigger. Now, I used the delirio of the F-bomb, which I should not have used, so I apologize for that. But sometimes an F-bomb gets your attention. When I was either in the 3rd or the 4th grade, I was called a nigger by a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white girl. Unfortunately, being a martial artist and knowing better and never forgiving myself for this, by the way, and I'm pretty sure she probably never forgave me for this either, her name will not be mentioned, but I will say that when she called me that, as a martial artist, I lost my mind. I tagged her in the mouth with my undominant hand. It's like, bam, when I came back, there was blood on my knuckles. Hadn't even realized I hit her. Until everybody in class, who was not of color, started saying I proved her right. They didn't use the same word, but they basically said that I proved her right. And they're right. I proved her right, because what did I do? First, I'm a martial artist. 2, I did the one thing that I would never freaking do now. I would never put my hands on a woman in a violent manner, and that's what I did. I own it, I did it, and a damn thing I can do about it. Now, a lot of you would look at me and say, well, damn, James, you know, she called you a nigger. You hit her in the mouth. Even Steven. No, it makes me look worse. Because 1, I'm a martial artist. 2, I'm a street fighter. And 3, I had no control of myself, which is like the one thing that martial arts teaches us is self-control. Sorry, text message. Anyway, moving on. As a martial artist and a person of color, I have learned quite a few things in how the world works over the last 40 years of my life. When I was 4 years old, I read comic books. I wanted to be Jonah Hex. But that also was because I didn't know that I was a black kid. When you're reading comic books and superhero stuff, kids don't see color. We're taught that shit. It's not homegrown that we inherited racial tendencies towards people. We teach the kids how to be racist. They're not born with that shit. We teach that shit. We tell our kids not to like black people. We tell our kids not to like white people. We tell our kids not to like Asian people. We teach them that shit. But why do we teach them that shit? That is the ultimate question. Why do we incite such hateful things to people because of something that they can't change, something that they can't fix? Just like me keep answering this stupid fucking text message. Because somewhere in our minds, we've been taught it, and instead of breaking the chains and doing what's right, we tend to follow what we were taught. Or maybe we had a bad experience with someone of that particular ethnicity and decide that maybe the stereotypes are right. However, maybe the stereotypes are wrong. As I grew up, as I got into the workforce, as I understood things as the way they are and the way they should be and could be, and why we as humans aren't striving to make things better, we're only keeping it on a mediocre level. You would think that August the 12th would have taught us something here in Charlottesville, but it didn't. 3 people lost their lives, statues are still in the same damn spot, lots of legal drama, lots of red tape, lots of nobody listening or giving a damn about everybody's feelings. Sorry. Sorry again. Anyway, this thing's gonna ruin my video, so I better hurry up and end it. The whole thing is that when I was 3 years old, my very first comic book that I ever read was Jonah Hex. He was a white cowboy who got shot in the face. I wanted to be that guy. I wanted to be a gun-toting SOB, riding and talking with Native Americans and getting along with everybody, and every now and again I got to dish out a little bit of justice by way of a 6-shooter. Then somewhere down the road I found Spider-Man, and then I found the X-Men, and I never looked back. Then I found the Guardians of the Galaxy. Again, I never looked back. And I wanted to be these people because they taught us moral lessons. Comics taught me how not to be racist. Comics taught me how not to be prejudiced. And if more people read them, we may actually find a way to make the world worth living in instead of all the racial divides that we have. However, living in a fantasy world has never worked out for anyone because reality does come back and reality bites big time. Now, why did I bring this up? I brought this up because I know how that young lady felt. But she's just beginning her life. I'm halfway through mine at 44 years old. There has not been a racial incident that I have not suffered from, with the exception of the August 12 thing, because I don't know anybody there directly that was involved in that. But I do know how it feels to be called anything but my name. I do know how it feels to be looked down upon because I'm not a perfect skin tone in society. I also know that I have been looked down upon by my own people because I'm not all the way black. But here's the thing on that. Neither are any of you. If you were born in America and your ass is of black or Negro descent, as they say on your birth certificate, they have systemically lied to you. Because if you are a descendant of a slave, I'm sure I'm a descendant of some slaves, some of those slaves were taken advantage of by their owners. Some of those slaves was assimilated into Native American tribes. So we're all one big-ass melting pot. Some of us have more mixed features than others. That just deciphers on just how much mixed you are. I am a proud gene owner of Cherokee DNA, black DNA, and white DNA. So I am a mutt, essentially. I'm actually okay with it. Now, to embrace yourself is what you need, and then worry about the racist asshats later. But racism, at its core, strikes the people who are well, that's not right. Sorry. Anyway, that being said, we have to find a way to make everyone feel equal regardless of race. And that's the hard part. Because we don't teach our youth correctly. And then they grow up looking at all these damn things where there's no lesson, there's no morals. And then the next damn thing you know, there's a bunch of fucking headaches. Or people are plowing through people to make themselves martyrs for a cause that's basically worthless. If you're hating someone for the color of their skin, then you're a dickbag full of douche tips and a shit swizzler. Because that's the one thing on earth that no one can change. You can't help what family you're born into. I mean, do you know how many people wouldn't exist if they could change their skin color? Or their tone, or their family, or their ethnicity, or their religious culture? There'd be a lot less people on earth. Because if we actually had a choice, there would probably be more white people because more people want to be white and not be called niggers and all this other crap. And that's just not going to happen. And if you really want to see a fucked up ass movie that makes a great point, the John Travolta and Sidney Poitier movie called White Man's Burden. It is a very good movie about how things would have happened if the shit would have happened in reverse. That's a movie that will open up your eyes. You should probably check that out as I stop this video.